Hello everybody, and I want to welcome everyone to this Spirit episode of the Booze Geek. My name is Charles, I am your host, and before I get started, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. And if you like the episode, hit that like button too. Give us a big thumbs up, and I'm going to thank y'all in advance. But on this Spirit episode, we are going to be tasting and reviewing a Scotch from Alexander Murray. So I'm just going to grab the bottle and jump in and get it all started. Here we go. So, from Alexander Murray. This is from the Royal Brockla Distillery in Scotland. So this Scotch, this is a 13-year-old single malt Scotch. This Scotch clocks in at 40% ABV, which is an even 80 proof. So right on the money, baby. But yeah, 13-year-old single malt. Let's pop the cork on this bad boy and let's get this review started. Here we go. Boom, boom. And boom, there it is, the bottle boom. The bottle boom. Let's get a little pour. And as I always say with spirits, just a little dab will do ya. So, that should do it. We don't need much more than that, unless we want to get loopy, but we're not getting loopy. So, what do we got going on? Let's look at that color. Well, honestly, it's a little lighter than I thought it was going to be. I thought it'd be a little bit darker than that. Although, there are some nice legs coming down the glass. But it isn't that. It's a little bit lighter. I thought it was going to be darker. But, well, you know, what can you do? Let's give this one more swirl and give it a nose and see what we got aroma-wise. Here we go. I'm nosing it, baby. Okay. Well, first and foremost, ironically, at 80 proof, we are getting some of that alcohol heat. A little bit more prominent than I thought it was going to be, but it is there. And we are getting some slight oak. There's a little bit of dried fruit coming through. Some slight vanilla, but then there are some doughy notes kind of rounding it out. But let's give this one more swirl and let's give this a little sip. Here we go. And let's see what the 13-year-old has going on for it. Here we go. Let's see what this 13-year-old Scotch has going on. All right. Prost. Here we go. Well, okay. Well, number one, this is a very, very, very light-bodied Scotch. I mean, this is a really, really light-bodied Scotch. So that's first and foremost. But let me give this another sip. We'll get going on those flavors. Okay, so what do we got? Well, we got a little bit of that dried fruit is coming through. Specifically, a little bit of dried apricot. We got a little bit of that oak. There is one more sip. Some very slight vanilla, but predominantly there is, it's more of those doughy notes, and there is a lot of a hay or grass coming through as well, and some slight alcohol heat, not much, but just there was more on the nose than there is on the palate. But yeah, it's rounded out, like I said, the doughy notes and that grass and hay. However, I gotta admit, I mean, for being a 13-year-old Scotch, I think the nose is really thin on this, and I think it's just lacking in some of the complexities from other Scotches, especially in that age range. I mean, there's just not a whole lot going on here, which is kind of unfortunate. I was expecting a little bit more from a 13-year-old Scotch. But let me give this one more sip, and then I'm going to give it my rating. I'm going to keep you all in suspense. Yeah, it hasn't really opened up anymore, unfortunately. I'm only going to give this one on the meter. I'm going to give this one a solid 6. Here's the thing. I don't think it's a bad Scotch. I just think it needs a lot of tweaking. I think there should be more of a bouquet coming off the nose, and I wish it, had a little bit more complexity on the palate. However, now with that being said, what I do like, number one, this is a very good everyday Scotch, and number two, this Scotch is not going to break the bank either. So If it's something you come home from work, you want to relax, boom, crack this open, have a dram, you're good. It's a good everyday Scotch. And like I said, yeah, I'm going to stick with that. Not a bad Scotch, so I recommend everyone go out and pick up a fifth. But on that note, I'm going to wrap this up, and I want to thank everyone for tuning in to this episode. And as always, you can follow me at the websites, which are www.pubshaveapinted.com, or at the blog, which is www.pubshaveapinted.blogspot.com, just like the books. And with that, I'm going to say thank you for tuning in, and as always, raise that drink. Cheers, Prost, and enjoy!